Time Warner Cable is pleased to be an underwriting sponsor for Carolina Week. From the James F. Goodman Studio in the School of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, connecting campus and community, this is Carolina Week.
Hello, and welcome to this special Semester in Review edition of Carolina Week. I'm Sarah Huffman.
And I'm Adam Rue. Thank you for joining us. During the next half hour, we'll take a look back at the tragic death of UNC Chapel Hill student body president Eve Carson. We'll also look at how her murder has affected campus safety and security.
Both of us are members of the class of 2008, a group of students who will forever be defined by the loss of our friend and colleague.
We first learned about that loss on March 6th when Chapel Hill police told us that the young woman found dead 33 hours earlier was someone many of us knew, worked with, and admired.
This morning at approximately 9 a.m., a positive identification of the victim was made by police investigators and the Office of the Medical Examiner. Victim has been identified as Eve Carson, age 22, a UNC senior and current UNC student body president.
Chapel Hill Police Chief Brian Curran broke the news to reporters about 12:30 this afternoon, nearly 33 hours after officers initially discovered Carson's body in the middle of this intersection. Investigators had trouble identifying Carson's body, but were eventually able to positively confirm it was her this morning.
A victim was identified at the medical examiner's office, and it's my understanding it was people that knew her that actually made the positive ID.
Curran says there's not much to go on.
There are no suspects at this time.
Anything about a motive?
Anything that I would say about that at this point would just be pure speculation.
Chapel Hill Mayor Kevin Foy worked with Carson and says her murder is a loss for the town as well as the university.
She was happy, vivacious, intelligent, engaged, and a presence in our community whose absence leaves a permanent void in our hearts and in our lives.
He says now is a time to come together.
We will work together to heal this community, to heal this town and this campus in the wake of a terrible tragedy and a terrible loss.
Curran says we should all be especially vigilant with the killer still at large.
Is there a danger to the community, Chief, right now? Or is there college students be concerned?
At this point, I'm thinking that this what it feels like was a fairly random crime. As I said earlier, I don't know that, for sure. I think folks that if they take the normal precautions that we normally ask them to do.
Shortly after the police news conference, word about Eve's death began to spread across campus. Rumors had been swirling all morning, and Carolina prepared for the national media spotlight. It was attention we didn't seek and didn't want, not for this reason.
Our main concern was to adequately try to say what Eve meant to this university. 5,000 people turned out that afternoon for a vigil on Polk Place. Carolina Week's Carla Babb was there.
Sobs, sorrow, and sheer disbelief. When word got out that yesterday's victim of a fatal shooting was student body president Eve Carson, the campus community stood shocked.
She was one of my best friends here. She was one of the most loving people you ever meet, and it's words can't describe it right now.
That smile. Just, she lit up the room.
A sea of students and faculty gathered here to mourn the loss of their student body president, their co-worker, and their friend. Those here say she loved this university with her whole heart, and she will be missed in theirs.
She felt the very pulse and heartbeat of this university.
Students place beautiful flowers as a tribute to Carson, although they realize her beauty will no longer be a part of campus.
A lovely girl, beautiful girl, and she'll be so sorely missed.
Eve is the biggest Carolina fanatic. She's so spirited. She loved this university.
And friends say her memory will remain within them.
When he was talking, everyone was thinking of their own little memories and thinking of how they knew her, and probably just had her face in their head.
It hasn't even kicked in yet, so it's very hard. But having all these guys here, it's good. But I miss her.
She was never too busy to say hello, to wave to you, to acknowledge the UNC community around her. She wanted to be a leader that was in touch with the campus that she represented.
And the chancellor urged the campus to stay close in this trying time.
Let us be the university that Eve Carson envisioned.
Today, we have each other to hold on to, and the happiness she brought to us all.
And that's the way I will always remember her. She was joyful. Thank you.
Thousands more showed up that night for a candlelight vigil in the pit.
A week after Eve's murder and after the campus vigils, investigators arrested 2 men who they say were behind the slaying. Police charged 21-year-old Demario James Atwater and 17-year-old Lawrence Alvin Lovett Jr. with 1 count each of first-degree murder. Both men are in jail awaiting trial.
When students returned to campus from spring break, they had one more chance to say a public goodbye to Eve.
Today, we are still in mourning, but we want to celebrate this special person that we knew and loved. She embodied the values of Carolina, which include fairness, justice, and tolerance.
Because she inspired us, she fostered consensus and collaboration, she coached, she encouraged, she defended, she challenged, and she made us all better than we were.
You know, you can't walk in this great big room and not see Eve Carson right behind me, where the students sat.
Late night dancer, motivator, friend, confidant, intimidating wide receiver on team friendship and flag football, streaker, rollerblader, driven and excited, listener, and leader.
I felt comfortable and loved around Eve because she was authentic in every possible way.
I think if we can answer yes, Eve would like this, I believe our chances of doing the right thing are much better, and the memory of Eve, our beloved Eve, will last forever.
We honor Eve by being the university that she loved when she talked about the Carolina way. Eve touched people in every part of the Carolina family. Students, faculty.
Eve Carson was the reason we came to work on March 4th, and Eve Carson will be the reason we will come to work on March 19th.
It's we, the students, who empower each other to pursue our goals. And I hope you realize that Eve not only believed in students' causes, but more importantly, she believed in the people behind those causes.
From this point forward, we must speak loudly and act boldly. Eve's mantle has been passed to us.
It was really special to have so many of Eve's friends in one place to honor her.
Yeah, we were both there along with about 10,000 other people, and the service was so special. There were so many parts of it that were moving because they each represented Eve's spirit so well.
And that was only one of the ways students started remembering Eve.
Hours before her memorial service here in Chapel Hill, students at NC State held their own vigil in the campus brickyard.
We can do that.
It's a scene that's rare in Raleigh. Students wearing Carolina blue.
And you really don't see that color on our campus ever.
NC State senior class president Zach Adams organized the show of support.
We really wanted to come up with some way that NC State could show that she had support outside of Chapel Hill.
He met Carson once and says she made an immediate impact.
Before I knew that she was a Morehead Scholar, got all the missions that she has done in various countries, student body president. Before all that, I could already tell that she was going to make a difference.
State students also contributed money to Carson's memorial fund.
We're trying to raise $1,000 at least to present to Eve's family and to UNC Chapel Hill, and I think that we'll meet that goal today.
Student Senator Carrie Chase is in charge of the fundraiser.
Eve was definitely the kind of person I aspired to be and that I think many people here aspire to be.
And she says now what draws us together is much more important than what separates us. State students were well on their way to meeting that fundraising goal before the vigil even ended.
It was a special way for students at one of our main rivals to show that there are things a lot more important than sports. It was meaningful for all of us to put aside that rivalry to share a common sense of loss.
Eve's death was yet another reason for officials to enhance campus safety.
When we come back, the university rolls out its new campus safety plan.
Pants, pants, pants. I am folding the pants. The pants are long. Do they go on my head? Do they? Do the pants go on my head? No. They go on.
Everyday moments can become teaching moments because learning starts long before school does. Give your child the start they need at bornlearning.org.
Un día en el bosque las ratas jugaban. Escucha Smokey antes de tratar.
Solo tú.
No juegues con fósforos, no juegues con fuego. Fuego. No hay nada para tu pobre conejo asustar a un pobre ratón sin casa en que vivir. Si un hermoso bosque es lo que deseas, no juegues con fósforos, no juegues con fuego.
Solo tú puedes prevenir los fuegos en áreas naturales.
¡Fuego!
We believe in a world where all people have an equal opportunity for health and well-being.
Those, locusts? What? Those locusts? Yeah. I'm throwing rocks at some stuff, and next thing I know, locusts. Sounds like bad karma. You should try volunteering or walking a little old lady across the street or, something good. Interesting.
Stay on the universe's good side. Volunteer, vote, get involved.
In my mind, I'm gone to Carolina. Can't you see the sunshine?
Here at Carolina, we are forging ahead in our tradition of cultivating leaders in research, teaching, and public service. As the nation's first public university, we are dedicated to setting the standard.
In my mind.
After Eve's murder, many of us began considering our own safety on campus. Reporter Catherine Cannon tells us what else UNC is doing to keep our campus safe.
To some students, safety on campus isn't an issue.
I've never seen anything unsafe on campus. There's usually a lot of campus police around, so I've always felt safe.
But the UNC Department of Public Safety wants students to make their personal safety a top priority. Today, DPS launched its new safety awareness campaign, Alert Carolina.
In addition to these posters with emergency contact information, the campaign also includes the new siren system.
Chief of UNC Police, Jeff McCracken, has been working hard to promote all of these new safety elements.
And another big piece of the campaign is really an effort to get people to sign up their cell phone numbers so they can participate in the texting system.
However, lots of students haven't registered their cell phone numbers.
Obviously, we would like more, and that's part of the purpose of the campaign.
McCracken wants to encourage students to register now if they haven't done so already.
The biggest thing they can do is try to improve their level of awareness.
Senior Andrew Claiborne says he can already see a difference.
I feel like they are more alert now too, and everybody on campus is, after everything.
Officials hope with the new measure, students will be even more prepared and feel more safe on campus. In Chapel Hill, I'm Catherine Cannon, Carolina Week.
Officials tested the new alert system during the spring semester and are continuing to work out some small problems, along with encouraging everyone on campus to sign up for the email notification system.
Off-campus security is also on the forefront of our minds. Carolina Week's Aaron Franklin tells us what local businesses are doing to keep all of us safe.
With the brand new people we just installed.
2 days after we heard about Eve's murder,
Spanky's restaurant manager Gavin Toth decided to make his restaurant safer.
We increased security by adding peepholes to both of our back doors, and also we now keep them locked pretty much 24/7. And we added a doorbell so that delivery men can ring the doorbell and we can let them in and know who they are.
UNC junior and Spanky's waitress Jessica Geis says increased security puts her at ease.
It's nice when the people that you work for make sure that you're safe. It just makes you feel better about the place you work in.
Safety isn't only a concern inside businesses on Franklin Street. The walk home is when Geis feels at risk.
Well, working at a restaurant, you get off really late sometimes, and so leaving the restaurant out the back alley is kind of scary.
Hey, how are you today, sir?
Police have not increased the number of officers on patrol on Franklin Street, but Officer Chris King says the department's making strides to better communicate with downtown businesses.
We've sent out a lot of emails to local merchants. We're trying to go through outreach programs, trying to go through the internet and just let people know, if you have anything, report it to us. And we're trying to get out in the community the best we can.
King says another crime like Carson's murder could happen again.
We can't be everywhere at once, unfortunately, and stuff that happens, random crimes, could happen anywhere.
But to try to prevent future crimes, downtown businesses are hiring off-duty officers to make residents and employees feel safer.
Officer King says the streets are as safe now as they've ever been, but he says there's no way to guarantee all of our safety. We all have to be cautious all the time.
With Eve's death fresh on our minds, certain campus events were just a little more meaningful.
Up next, the death penalty debate hits home.
Hear that? How could I not? They can't be serious. This is their third party this week and I have a test tomorrow.
Yeah, and they blocked me in. Again!
Let's party!
It's about time.
Anything left in here?
I bet they're gonna leave their garbage out again. They do this every time when they have friends over.
It's important to be considerate of others who live close to you. You wouldn't want neighbors like these. Make sure to control your garbage, obey Chapel Hill noise ordinances, park only in your driveway or other designated areas, obey all alcohol laws, and remember, we're all living in this community together, so be a good neighbor.
Any questions?
No.
You know.
We're not magicians, we can't read your mind.
We need your questions, each and every kind.
Will this react with my other medicine? Hey, what are all these tests even for? Questions are the answer. Let's go, man.
Hello, ladies.
Can you imagine your life without animals? Here at the Durham Animal Shelter, we can't. So come see us. Your new best friend is already expecting you.
Let's give it a shot. You can do it this time. I gotta get a real dog.
There is really only one boy, one girl, one tree, one forest, one ocean, one mountain, one sky, and one simple way to care for it all. Please visit earthshare.org and learn how the world's leading environmental groups are working together under one name, EarthShare. One environment, one simple way to care for it.
The Department of Dramatic Art planned to put on the production Dead Man Walking since the beginning of the year. But with Eve's death, approaching a play about capital punishment hit closer to home than anyone could have expected. A report from Carolina Week's Carly Swain.
The set is being built. The timing is perfect.
You should not be finished moving through this space before the count of 30.
13, 14, 28, 29, 30.
Okay, count of 10.
Well, almost. Rehearsals were carrying on without a hitch until the words on a page came to life. The murder of UNC's student body president Eve Carson exposed raw emotion and raised an important question. Can we do a play about capital punishment now?
Dear friends, with deeply saddened hearts, we send you our love and support.
At a time of profound grief, the cast and crew received some encouraging words in a letter from the book's author, Sister Prajan, and the project's national coordinator, Sister Maureen Fenlon.
To have this campus take this on and then to have an experience of a horrible crime of one of their own pushes us even deeper than ever thought.
Can they do this play? Is it right?
These are hard questions, and there's no easy answer, but more soul-searching will need to go on.
The cast has continued rehearsals, and the play will go up as scheduled. A number of post-show events are also scheduled to encourage community conversations. In Chapel Hill, I'm Carly Swain, Carolina Week.
The cast and crew of Dead Man Walking faced an extraordinary challenge with campus emotions still so raw. Sister Maureen says the message in the play isn't a political one and that it's more about humanity and how we relate to one another.
Many of us who felt safe on campus before Eve's death started feeling less so after her murder.
It's impossible to close off a public university, and police can't be in all places at all times, so we have to bear some of the responsibility for our own safety.
There are many ways to protect ourselves, and one that's gaining popularity across the country is more drastic than others.
In the wake of the recent tragic death of student body president Eve Carson, campus safety has become a primary concern for students at UNC. For senior Aaron Stitzel, it's a time to take action.
I went home recently and began the application process for obtaining a concealed weapon permit. Just hit so close to home, being on our campus and knowing that it could be any one of my friends or myself, and just disbelief that something like that could happen.
It's illegal to carry concealed weaponry at UNC, but other traumatic shootings on college campuses such as Northern Illinois and Virginia Tech have students rethinking their safety. Students for Concealed Carry on Campus, or SCCC, is a group that has received national attention for its efforts to push legislation that allows concealed weaponry on college campuses. In February, the UNC chapter of SCCC celebrated a step forward when the North Carolina Student Legislature passed a resolution to support concealed carry on college campuses in North Carolina. If a bill presented by the SCCC about how to implement this process passes at the annual session, it will be in a form that the North Carolina General Assembly can directly debate and vote on. But there are still many students who wouldn't be comfortable with this type of action.
I don't think there's any benefit to it at all whatsoever.
I don't know, I don't think about it. It's just my life. It's regular day-to-day, whatever. It's just when events like the other week happen, you start questioning your safety. So
Utah and Colorado already allow concealed carry on college campuses, and several other states have similar legislation up for discussion. Could North Carolina be next? Stitzel believes that concealed carry could only benefit his safety and the safety of others.
I don't think it would make them worse just because of the processes you have to go through to actually obtain the handgun and be able to carry it in such a way. I think, if anything, it may make them safer. I think it's appropriate to make sure that law-abiding citizens have that right.
There have been protests both for and against gun use at UNC recently. On the anniversary of the Virginia Tech shooting, students demonstrated by lying down in the middle of the quad to represent those who died that day. And toward the end of April, students for the right to carry weapons on campus spent a week wearing empty holsters to make their point.
None of us will ever forget that day in March when we lost a fellow Tar Heel, or the weeks that followed.
Coming up, Carolina Week honors the life of a cherished friend and colleague.
There's the whole week. There's no whole week. Hey, excuse me?
Excuse me, sir. Something wrong?
Yeah, there's something wrong. You want to get me some whole wheat? Oh, come on. Hey, hey, amigo. Hey, I asked you for whole wheat bread. This is not what I wanted. El Wheato.
Sorry for the confusion.
You know, that's the problem with these people. If you want to serve Americans, you got to learn to speak the language. You know what I'm saying?
No, sir. I don't. Enjoy your lunch.
Imagine the power of one voice. Click freedomcenter.org to find yours.
Recycling a glass bottle saves enough energy to run the TV you're watching for 1 full hour. Recycle. It's the everyday way to save the world. Making a can from recycled aluminum instead of from raw materials reduces air pollution by 95%. Recycle. It's the everyday way to save the world.
When you shop in Orange County, your money comes back to you.
Thank you for shopping Orange.
So shop Orange and see what a difference you can make.
Thousands of kids in this country have everything it takes to go to college, except the money. The United Negro College Fund. A mind is a terrible thing to waste.
If you have a story idea, contact Carolina Week at 843-8292. You can also visit us online at carolinaweek.org. If you have questions about this program, write Carolina Week at Campus Box 3365, UNCCH, Chapel Hill, North Carolina, 27599.
As we close out our broadcast and close out another semester for Carolina Week, Sarah and I want to take a minute to remember our friend Eve, someone who truly lived her life the Carolina way.
It's really impossible to put into words how Eve Carson's death has affected our campus. But we hope we can all live our lives better because of the attention focused on the extraordinary way she lived hers.
So we'd like to say goodbye now in our own way with a video tribute sent to one of her favorite songs.
This year has been a blessing. It has been incredible. I've met so many amazing people. I've gotten to work with so many classmates. I've loved this year and I feel so fortunate for it.
Eve Carson personified the Carolina spirit. She did it perhaps more profoundly than anyone I've known in my whole time here. She felt the very pulse and heartbeat of this university. In the way she lived her life, embodied the Carolina way.